Young and the Restless rumors claim Victoria Newman, Amelia Heil, encourages Ashland Locke, Richard Berge, to grab custody of his son the 2 weeks June 7 to 18. The rivalry between Abbott and Newman will resurface as this couple gets closer. Also, Kyle Abbott, Michael Mealer, fights for Harrison Locke, Kellen Enriquez, in the CBS soap drama. Ashland Locke makes Victoria Newman feel sexy whenever they are together. However, Victoria is hesitant when Ashland asks her to accompany him to New York City. Victoria is aware that it will alter the dynamics with Ashland, of course. But Victoria Newman finds the vicious tycoon attractive. And she is able to get Ashland Locke to open up in a manner no one else has been able to on Young and the Restless. Ashland was hesitant to tell the Newman CEO all about his terrible divorce. Harrison is not his real son though, and he did eventually acknowledge this to Victoria. Victoria, however, was encouraging and shared details about her own troubled past with Ashland. She stated that she's not Johnny Abbott's, Holden and Ryan Hare, biological parent, but is his mother in every sense. According to teasers for Young and the Restless, she then exhorts Ash to defend his son. The boy needs him, so he must continue to remain active. While Kyle Abbott is his bio daddy, Ashland Locke raised him since birth. It appears that Ash heeds Victoria Newman's advice. Following Victoria's guidance on the CBS serial opera, Ashland makes the decision to battle tooth and claw to get custody of his son. Over the past year, there has been good harmony between the Abbott and Newman families. At one point, the two families were bitter rivals. In the past, Victor Newman, Eric Braden, and Jack Abbott, Peter Bergman, engaged in epic combat. However, they are now at peace with one another, and even encourage one another. If Victoria Newman is having an affair and plotting with the Abbott's adversary, then everything may be different. It's going to go ugly fast once the Abbotts find out she's pushing Ashland to take Harrison. Victor and Melody, Thomas Scott's character, Nikki Newman, both asked their daughter about her connection to the Loch Ness Monster. According to Young and the Restless spoilers, Vicky's desire to hook up with Ash is not supported by either. But if Jack and Kyle go on the attack, they will support her. As Ashland and Victoria move closer to becoming a power couple in Genoa City, it appears that long-standing conflicts will be reignited. According to recent I&R news, Ashland is attempting to remove Kyle from Harrison's life. He believes Tara Locke, Elizabeth Laner, cannot turn down his offer. Should she remove Kyle from her son's life, they will share custody. Kyle and Jack pleaded with Tara not to accept the agreement. She is conflicted though. Kyle, though, will not watch helplessly as the child is lost. He has rapidly been devoted to the cute boy. Additionally, Jack is enamored with his first grandson. Kyle will therefore confront the vicious businessman directly. Information from Young and the Restless suggests that he will go up to Ash and demand that he give up. Even though Ash is a strong man, the Abbotts are also very powerful. It appears that the soldiers will keep fighting for Harrison for the next 2 weeks. However, Tara is the wild card. Will she accept Ashland's offer when he presses, as Victoria suggested? Or will she choose Kyle's side? Taking the youngster away from his new daddy seems harsh. Fans don't trust her though, so anything might happen. Young and the Restless spoilers included. Michelle Morgan's character, Amanda Sinclair, has remained resilient despite her recent interactions with her family. But as she finds out more about her father, things become more difficult. She is heartbroken to learn how nearly her father found her when she was a child. Before he passed away, Richard was scheduled to meet her foster family. She might have had a loving father if he hadn't been murdered. It's also possible that she was reunited with her twin sister. On Young and the Restless, her life would have been very different. However, her defense of Sutton Ames, Jack Landron, raises more concerns than it does answers. He apparently had the opportunity and motivation to murder Richard. Even after all these years, he is still determined to keep his daughter's reputation safe. Just think of what he could do now. It's probable that Richard was killed by the elderly man, or at least contributed to his death. As Amanda puts this new information together, she will have a lot on her plate. This story appears to be one that will continue to unfold on Guy and R. Maria Copeland. Cameron Grimes is expected to confess within the next 2 weeks, according to I&R News. Her pregnancy is going well so far. It hasn't been without problems though. Morning sickness was terrible for her. Additionally, Abby Newman's Melissa Ordway. Attentiveness suffocates her. Will Maria come forward and say she's sorry she chose to be Abby and Chance Chancellor's surrogate? Or is she becoming attracted to the unborn child as a mother? Fans of Young and the Restless have been arguing for weeks that things won't work out. Keeping an eye on the CBS soap opera since Maria's confession might have significant consequences for a number of important Genoa City actors. The next 2 weeks will be filled with drama in Genoa City as Ashland Locke and Victoria Newman become closer. Additionally, Kyle takes a significant step to maintain Harrison in his life. Once more, Genoa City is feeling the winds of war, but this time, the battlefield is a young boy's heart rather than a business boardroom or a romantic triangle. Even the notoriously aloof Newman family might raise an eyebrow at Victoria Newman's impending move, which is so brutal and morally dubious, in the upcoming tumultuous 2 weeks on The Young and the Restless. Indeed, Victoria is pressuring Ashland Locke to take Kyle Abbott's kid Harrison permanently, which is unimaginable. Harrison is a symbol of leverage, or unadulterated power, to Victoria. Ashland sees himself as a kid enmeshed in a conflict that he did not initiate. He is everything to Kyle. And Tara, well, even she won't be prepared for the impending storm. In addition to tearing families apart and revealing hidden agendas that will alter relationships for years to come, this plot line promises to spark an explosive battle between the Abbotts and Newmans. Let's explore the 2-week spoilers that initiate this risky scheme. Week 1. Victoria lights the fuse. Victoria Newman is a creator of opportunity rather than someone who waits for it. Victoria is more committed than ever to securing her power because her marriage to Ashland is battling for stability, and her control over Newman Enterprises is continually being put to the test by both her father and Adam. Her issue: Ashland is preoccupied. He is sensitive. He has become softer. Victoria detests it. Victoria perceives vulnerability whenever Ashland discusses Harrison. His love, his remorse, his lingering shame. Furthermore, Victoria will not tolerate any weakness in those she depends on. Her answer? Make that weakness into a weapon. Victoria starts sowing the seeds in Ashland's brain. She portrays Harrison's worried wife, subtly implying that he has been unjustly excluded from his life. By portraying Jack as the man who allowed it and Kyle as the villain who stole his son, she feeds Ashland's paternal instincts. However, she continues, far more. Victoria advises Ashland to pursue custody. No visit, not joint custody. A complete and final legal takeover. She contends that Kyle would be forced to give up if Ashland's parental rights were restored. And since Ashland and Harrison are connected, Ashland is also connected to her and Newman Enterprises. It's love cloaked in trickery. Advice that is actually control. Victoria's speciality. Ashland's internal struggle develops. Ashland Locke has experience with battle. The man who was dubbed the Loch Ness Monster is a tough cookie. However, Harrison remains the lone weak point in his soul's stronghold. Victoria is aware of it. She takes advantage of it. And it's effective. Ashland starts to lose his emotional equilibrium. Harrison is played by flashbacks of training him to walk, giving him bedtime stories, and watching him sleep. He informs Victoria that he does not wish to cause the boy any trauma. Victoria, however, exerts more effort. She warns, he will forget about you if you don't fight now. It eats away at Ashland's soul. If Kyle wins, Harrison will never know who you really are. He desires to regain his strength. Regaining the life he lost is his goal. Regaining his son is the first step, Victoria mutters. Ashland calls his lawyer by the end of the week. Victoria smiles as well. Kyle and Summer sense trouble in the meanwhile. Kyle Abbott has experienced turbulence in the past, but nothing comes close to the possibility of losing Harrison once more. The ghosts of the past loom over him, despite his best efforts to live in harmony with Summer in their recently stable life. Kyle learned that Ashland and Victoria were pursuing Newman 2 weeks ago. He now spots Ashland skulking close to Chancellor Park, looking in Harrison's preferred play area's direction. Kyle's intuition warns of danger. Summer Newman Abbott is not a fool, and her alarm is growing. She is too familiar with her family, particularly Victoria. She cautions Kyle that Victoria never interferes without a more significant reason. Summer claims that whatever she is doing with Ashland will not go well. Kyle nods, but the tension is clearly visible on his face. We must be prepared. It is enough to ruin him to think that Harrison might be torn away from him once more. Scared, defensive, and concealing something massive, Tara Locke sneaks back into Genoa City, just when things seem to be getting too complicated. She informs Kyle that she felt obligated to come back since she thought Ashland was causing trouble. Kyle, however, is not a moron. He can see the fear in her eyes. He recognizes the guilt. He also notices the packet in her purse that she is always stroking. Is it an Ashland letter, a threat to the law, or evidence of a larger secret she has been keeping? She won't show Kyle whatever it is. But one thing is certain, whether on purpose or not, Tara is a part of a larger scheme. And everything could blow out because of Victoria's actions. Week 2. Victoria presses the nuclear button. A string of incidents that transforms simmering tension into raging confrontation blows up the second week. Victoria presses for Ashland to file for emergency custody. Ashland concurs. The legal grenade then goes off. On the doorstep of the Abbott home, Kyle receives custody papers. Jack's hands shake as he reads them. Summer almost passes out. Kyle slams the front door so forcefully that the windows tremble. The Abbotts immediately enter crisis mode. Victoria is unmoving as Billy barges into her office and demands explanations. Billy accuses her of retaliation, but she says she's just supporting her husband. Victoria grinned. Kyle's desperation breaks. Kyle tries to remain composed for Harrison's benefit, but the tension wears him down. He is afraid of Victoria's power, Ashland's wealth, and Tara's dubious devotion. Calling Michael Baldwin, he demands prompt legal action. As a backup, he contacts Christine Williams. He even thinks about pleading with Victor for assistance. Victor, though, might not be able to help. Victor shares Victoria's perception of leverage. The Newmans are in a better position since Ashland is making things difficult for the Abbotts. Kyle may be left alone. In a fit of rage, Summer confronts Victoria and turns brutal as she charges into Victoria's office. She insists on knowing why Victoria would single out Harrison and Kyle. Victoria doesn't mince words. She says calmly, "You married into the Abbotts." Summer responds that Victoria is behaving jealously, insecurely, and desperately to keep Ashland close, saying, "Their problems are your problems." Victoria's face goes blank. Although it's not a threat, she tells Summer that she would regret it if she obstructs her again.